Hi there, everybody. It is May 2nd, Sunday, and this may possibly be the last lecture of the semester. I may have one more uh, next Sunday, but possibly not because I'm going to try and cover everything for the next 12 days or essentially 10 days now of the course since we're nearing the end. And I think I'll be able to cover everything that we need to in this little lecture tonight. So I hope everything's going well with you. Paper number 3 has now been graded. So you should have a grade in the grade book. You should look at the comments that I made to see why you received the grade you did. The grades were generally very good. I think you've learned a lot from papers 1 and 2, and I was quite impressed with all of your analyses of the poem and how it turned out, and the kind of depth and thoughtfulness that you put into your papers. So again, I was quite impressed with this one, and I hope you can continue um, that thoughtfulness into the final project of the semester. What is due tonight, May 2nd by 11:59 is quiz number 6. It's our last quiz of the semester. So the quiz you read in the quizzes folder and turn it in as usual. Wednesday. So Wednesday, May 5th by 11:59, your poetry project is due. So if you can't find the assignment for the poetry project, it is posted in either week 12 or 13. So check both of those weeks, but the assignment is posted in one of those weeks. I hope you looked at it beforehand, of course, because you sent me that paragraph telling me what poem you were choosing. Let me go over a little bit about the format and the turning in process. So of course, there are 2 parts. The first part is a short paper that should be 350 to 400 words. In MLA format, it'll come out to about 1 to 1.5 pages. You don't need a works cited page unless you want to put one. I don't need that just because I know you know how to do MLA format now, and this is not necessarily a formal paper like we've done in the past. It's more of an introduction to the poem, and follow all of the guidelines on the poetry project assignment in order to write the paper. The second part is an 8-slide slideshow, and the first slide is a title slide. The second slide is a copy of the poem itself. And then the final 6 slides are your analysis of that poem. And you can analyze in any format you want. You should be creative, though, in your design. And look at all of the parameters for those slides, again, on the assignment. I think all of the specifics of the assignment are laid out pretty well there. I do want to tell you, though, how to turn it in. And you're turning it in 2 separate places. First of all, you're turning the 1-page paper part into the poetry project link in the essays folder. So that's the final link. I will check for direct quotes and plagiarism there. I have, unfortunately, had multiple examples of plagiarism this semester, as I always do. So I have to check to make sure that you haven't either accidentally or on purpose, either one, incorporated outside sources without citing them. And make sure that you have quotation marks where they're needed. So that 1-page part in MS Word or PDF, however you normally turn that in, should be turned in to the link sent to my email, and my email address you should have at this point I've sent you multiple emails, of course, over the course of the semester. It's also posted on the poetry project assignment, and I'll tell it to you again right here. Andrea.wright@tccd.edu. What you will email to me is both the paper, the one-page paper, and the slideshow. The reason you can't put the slideshow on the PowerPoint is because it's not on the link is PowerPoint or slideshows or anything like that are not a link that Turnitin recognizes. It only recognizes writing. So therefore, your paper will go on Turnitin. Your paper and slideshow will be sent to me. So those instructions I've talked about all semester, but I want to one more time let you know about them just so that you're familiar and comfortable with how you're turning this in. If you finish the whole project on Monday or Tuesday, feel free to send it, but it is due Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. I will grade both parts via email. So I'm not going to give you a grade on the poetry. Well, you'll eventually get a grade on the poetry presentation part, but there won't be any comments on the link part like there normally are, just because both your paper and your presentation will be right there at my email. So I'm only using the link to check for direct quotes. May 10th. So 5 days after the project is due. So that's a week from Monday. So a week from tomorrow is when the final exam will be posted. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about this. I mentioned it in my last lecture on April 11th. I have a little blurb on it at the top of Blackboard. I mentioned it to you in prior emails. So I'm mentioning it to you here again, just so you understand. I will grade your poetry projects between May 6th and May 10th. I'll post the exam itself on May 10th. It's not due until the 12th. If, once you get your grade on the poetry project, you're happy with the poetry project, you can keep that grade for both the poetry project and the final. It will be the exact same grade for both. It'll therefore be 30% of your final grade. If you don't like the grade that you receive on your poetry project and you want to see if you can do better on the final, which will increase your average if you do better, then the final will be due on the 12th. The final is not going to be multiple choice or fill in the blank like our quizzes have been. The final will be short essays that you write. So I'm just telling you in advance that that's the format of the final. And I'll grade the finals as I've graded your papers. It's not going to be any harder, any easier. The same with your poetry projects. So that's how I've laid it out. And you don't have to tell me if you've decided to take or not take the final. What will happen is on the 12th at 11:59 is when the final is due. On May 13th, I will look and see who has turned in a final. And those finals I'll grade, and that will be your grade on the final. I think if the grade on the final is worse than the grade on your poetry project, then I'll just take your poetry project grade as both. So I didn't think of that until just now, but I want to go ahead and lay that out for you so that the final will not essentially count against you if you decide to take it. So say, for example, you make an 85 on the poetry project and you want to try and do better, but on the final you make an 80. Then I won't give you an 80 and an 85. I'll give you two 85s. So that's how I'm going to handle the final. I expect everybody's papers once again for your poetry project on May 5th, this Wednesday. The paper plus the slideshow. Then the final will be something that you discern if you want to take after you get your grade. You can go to the writing lab for this poetry project. However, you will not get any extra credit. So I've finished with the extra credit for the semester. Quite a number of you utilized it over the course of the semester, so that certainly helped your grade by getting 5 extra points. I'm still in the process of reading revisions of your research paper. A few of you handed in revisions, and I have read some of them and given you a new grade. So the new grade is already in the grade book for some of you. If you have a grade on that revision, that grade plus the old grade averaged is your new grade. So that is something that I'll work on and finish up this week. Those of you who revised your research paper and don't yet have a new grade in the grade book. There will be nothing posted in the week 16 folder, so there's no need to look in that folder at all. The final and review will be posted at the top of Blackboard. So that's where you'll find not the review, but the link as well as the final exam itself. The final thing I want to mention for the semester is discussion board number 6. That should be easy. It'll just be a semester wrap up. I don't even think I'm going to make you reply to somebody else. So if you do reply to somebody else, I'll give you extra credit. But if you don't, I'll give you the full credit on this discussion board. And I'll put that in the instructions on the discussion board. That's not due until May 9th. So that's a week from today. So really, as of now, if you haven't turned in your quiz, there are 4 things due between now and the 12th, potentially. You have to do the quiz. You have to do the poetry project. You have to do the discussion board. You may or may not take the final, and that will depend on your poetry project grade. So I think that's it. If I think of anything else I missed, of course, I'll send it to you in an email. Be sure you're consistently checking your emails over the course of the next couple of weeks. And I enjoyed having you this semester. I will have office hours tomorrow night. I think it will be my final office hours unless people absolutely need to talk to me a week from Monday. But I can talk to you about your poetry project, format, your grades, anything you would like tomorrow night. I won't have daytime office hours. Those have rarely been utilized, only occasionally, and everybody can usually come to the evening ones rather than the daytime. So just the evening, 7 to 9 tomorrow night. Other than that, have a great upcoming week. Good luck with everything. And if it is my last lecture of the semester, have a good summer. I know TCC is coming back face-to-face in the fall. So those of you who are coming back to TCC in the fall, we'll see how that works out. Those of you who are in high school and either heading off to college or heading into a new year of high school, congratulations and good luck with that too. So I think that's all for tonight. Bye-bye.